Right, welcome back to another episode of the GCN Tech Clinic, where I try and solve your bike-related problems. So if you've got a problem, leave it for me down there in the comments section below, or alternatively, on all forms of social media using the hashtag AskGCNTech. With no further ado, let's crack on. First question this week comes in from Duty Paid Rock, and they say, stylistic question. Oh God, don't think I'm the right one for this. I picked up a Bianchi Mega Pro L with Campagnolo Veloce Groupset from the era of 1999 to the year 2000. Square bottom bracket and all. I'd like to upgrade it, but I can't decide whether to try and cobble together a record group set of the same era to maintain the more retro look, or install a Holotech bottom bracket and get modern Ultegra stuff on it. Is this sacrilege? Ought I be burned at the stake for such wicked thoughts? It's just the record parts are hard to come by and surprisingly expensive for an 18-year-old group set. I know the Ultegra mechanical group set is excellent value for about the same money. Pros and cons. Right, okay. No, you're not going to be burned at the stake, don't worry. Now, this is all personal preference, but right now, if you think about how difficult it could well be trying to get those record parts from, well, the year 2000, think what it'd be like in another 18 months or so. Yeah, it's not going to be the easiest thing, so I'd think about that. And also, you mentioned there about the modern Ultegra group set. In the last 20 years, technology has improved so much. Personally, I'd go for that modern Ultegra stuff. Put that on. Ignore the people out there that say, oh, it's period incorrect and everything. If it works well, you're more likely to want to ride it too, and you're going to be able to get spares a lot easier. But ultimately, the choice is yours. Next up is Colin Jones, who says, hi John, I work as a volunteer in the community bike shop where we refurbish and repair old and donated bikes. I've got to say actually, Colin, that's a great thing to do. There is a local one of these to us here in the GCN offices, and I always love to visit them. Now, anyway, I digress. Colin says, this often involves replacing all of the cables and outers. One thing that I've often wondered is, what's the rule of thumb for their routing around the front of the bike, i.e. over or under? So the direction and everything that they come around with the front of the handlebars is quite difficult to explain without having the bike here in front of me. Or does it not matter so long as the bars can freely and fully rotate left and right? All right, Colin, it all depends actually where the cable enters the frame and also what hand is controlling what brake. So most bikes out there are actually designed in the way, or certainly older bikes, that it's a right-hand rear brake, and therefore the arc of that cable determines actually, the frame entry point for the cable determines the arc of the cable and how it works to have a nice, free, smooth operating brake. But sometimes they're dead through the middle for the entry points, particularly on top tubes if they're externally routed and things. Really, you want to have it so you can turn the bars nice and free, but not really loose, not really floppy or anything. It's never going to look good on the front of a bike. What I would do is play around with it, just have the length of cable cut so it's not really long, obviously, to start with, and gently remove very small bits until you're happy with the amount of turn you can get from the bars. And that's going to allow you nice smooth braking. Essentially, if you've got a really short, tight cable run, your brakes and your gears are not going to work very well. So have a little play around, never cut too much off, otherwise you are going to be in trouble. Right, next question is from Michael Albany, who is a regular commenter, I must say, underneath the videos. Hi John, love the show so much. I went out and got a job part-time at the local bike shop. Michael, that's brilliant. I love that. We recently had a client whose carbon frame came in cracked. Though repairable, we have one mechanic who said it's not worth repairing because the frame will never be so strong and it delays the inevitable. One mechanic says it will be as strong, if not stronger, than before. Me being the noob in the shop figured I would ask the expert, one Mr. John Cannings. It's a lot of pressure on my shoulders right now. Who is right? Right, Michael, good question here. I've never actually had a frame repaired myself or anything carbon repaired, but a very good friend of mine, Rob Hales, you'll remember, we travelled up to his workshop and he does carbon repair, and he's repaired wheels that have been totally smashed up as well as frames, and he uses them. Now, he is a guy who I trust wholly. He's a really good mate of mine, and if it's good enough for him, it's going to be good enough for me. Just make sure if you do get it done, make sure you get someone who has been doing it for quite a while and has got a very good reputation too. Right, next up we've got Richard King, who says, hi John, my friend plans to get a Liv Langmuir with a Shimano press fit bottom bracket. I would like to transfer her SRAM D0 power meter crank set to the new bike. I believe the SRAM has a 30mm axle. What bottom bracket should I get to do this? Is it even possible? Yeah, you can. Now, You've said the Liv Langmuir's got a press fit Shimano bottom brackets, that's a BB86. So you need to go to most likely a third-party company to get a suitable bottom bracket, I think. I had a look around on the SRAM website. Pretty sure they don't make anything for you. So a company like Seabear from Belgium, they make a bottom bracket for this. So it's a press fit bottom bracket that go into that BB86 shell, but the internal bearing diameter is enlarged from 24mm that you get on a normal Shimano axle up to 30mm, and that will do the job absolutely fine. You may well need to get a few washers and a wavy washer too, just to help try and space it out a little bit, because sometimes there is a few sort of compatibility things just to play around with, but yeah, it will do you absolutely fine. Right, next up we've got Game Over. Game over. Okay, hi John, love your show. I bought a bicycle, but it has a square tapered bottom bracket. I heard that you can replace it with a threaded bottom bracket like Shimano's Ultegra 2. Is that true? I'm aching to upgrade my bike, but I'm unsure if I can do that. Thank you. Yeah, it is true. Now, both of these use a standard threaded fit, so you can whip out that old square taper heavy unit, put the new Ultegra 2 ones, absolutely fine. But you're also going to need a chain set too, so go out and buy one of those. You're going to save an awful lot of weight over that old-fashioned square taper one. Right, next up is Unkebunk to Bustle, who says, hi John, great work, keep going. I own a road bike equipped with the Shimano 600 Tricolor group set. You are lucky. I've still got a few bits of that kicking around here and there. Anyway, I haven't used it for a long time, and in the meantime, I've moved to a very hilly region. Not quite so lucky. Well, I guess you are actually. To bring the bike back to use, I want to change the gear ratios because 42 in the front and 26 in the back doesn't work well here. No, that's pretty retro gearing. In the front, the smallest ring I can fit is a 38 tooth one, but in the back, it gets difficult. I could use a rear hanger extender, but the cage of the rear derailleur 6400, the RD 6400, sorry, is very short. They are indeed. It could be too short for 1132 cassette. Yeah, definitely it is. I'm just going to tell you that now. Is it possible to replace the cage of that 6400 mech? And also, could I replace the complete rear derailleur with a modern one, such as the R8000? But can I still use the old 6400 STI levers with the R8000 rear mech? Will the combination work with the old 8-speed hub and cassette? What do you think? Right, I'm gonna have to look at this and answer it as I go. So first up, yeah, I've already said it won't work with the 32 tooth cassette, that old rear mech. I'll tell you that now because it's a really short cage. Replace the cage? Probably not either. I couldn't think that any modern Shimano part would necessarily fit and work that well. Yeah, you could replace it with an R8000 one, but now we're going to get into problems because you want to keep those 6400 STI levers. It probably would shift an R8000 mech. Sadly, I have got a 6400 rear mech somewhere, but it's not at home. I had a little look around last night because I knew about this question, obviously, because I write the scripts. So I couldn't even play around to see if it was compatible with a modern shifter. It's likely the cable pull of a modern shifter like that R8000 one won't work perfectly with a parallelogram style design of the 6400 rear mech. So it might work okay, but probably not perfect. Let's have a look what else you're saying here. Will the combination work with an old 8-speed hub and cassette? So you're trying to put an 11-speed cassette, I presume, onto... Well, no, actually, I think you want to try and keep... No, you don't. You want to put an 1132 cassette. You want to put an 11-speed cassette onto an 8-speed hub and cassette. No, it's not going to work, I'm afraid. I don't really know what to offer. You could have a look around for a mountain bike cassette in an 8-speed with, say, 11 to 32 or something along those lines. So have a look at that, because an old 8-speed mountain bike cassette, that should fit on your free hub fine. As for the derailleur hanger extender, it's worth a gamble, to be honest with you. You can get them on eBay for just a few quid. That's what I did when I made that one-buy bike. So I'd probably do those two things first of all. I wouldn't try and mix too much old with new because I just think the cable pull ratios just aren't going to work well. But yeah, let me know how you get on with it, because this is a problem I would love to tackle. Invite me. I don't know where you are, you've not said, but maybe I'll come and visit you. Right, we've got Ivor Brouwer next. Well, it could be Brouwer. I think that's Flemish for brewer. Quite a cool name. I have a pick and flick titanium cross frame, and I've got new 105 hydraulic group set. The brakes just won't fit on the frame. I see the frame being sold with SRAM Rival. Would Shimano MTB Dior brakes work with the 105 group set? Will these brakes fit the frame? Right, without seeing it, and also the exact caliper you're talking about, I can't tell you. But in terms of compatibility, yeah, they will work absolutely fine, the mountain bike ones with the road shifters. I say absolutely fine. They both use mineral oil for the hydraulic system. I remember seeing Matthew van der Poel. He was using Dura Ace shifters and brake levers, and they were hosed up to a pair of XTR calipers, and they seem to work okay. But something to consider here is that normally a road bike brake lever, the reservoir in the shifter isn't as big as what we have in a mountain bike brake lever, so you don't necessarily have the possibility to move quite as much fluid to move a mountain bike caliper. I'd pop into the local bike shop really and see if those calipers will actually fit on the frame. And I reckon it'll probably work okay, but I'm just letting you know about a couple of the cautionary things you should just be aware of. Right, we've now got Sasken Reichardt, or Sasken Reichardt. Not sure how you say that one. I tried my best though. Hi John, I wanted to know whether it's generally possible to fit any modern front or rear derailleurs on an old steel frame with down tube shifters, because that may seem like a good upgrade to increase ride, or in this case, shift feeling. Yep, absolutely fine. If your frame is slightly narrower than 130mm, which most rear hubs are these days, so if it's 126 say, you might need to get it cold set just to be able to accommodate that free hub, that you can get the modern gearing on there. But the good news is with this is that you still can buy 8, 9 and 10 speed index down tube shifters, and also the respective rear mechs too. I love a down tube shifter. We've now got Marek Gregoric, who says, hello, can I use a chain, a gold one, designated for an 11-speed group set with a 10-speed group set, Shimano Dura Ace 7900. Yeah, you can, but the shifting isn't going to be quite as snappy and as precise. The reason being, 11-speed chains are roughly 0.5 millimeter wider in their overall width compared to a 10-speed one, which means that a shift isn't just going to be quite as fast, like I've already said, but it's very, very unlikely you're going to notice it. Where you could notice it would be if it was fitted up to an 8 or a 9-speed setup, but really your jockey wheels, your pulley wheels, they're going to take up any slack there. And yeah, a gold chain, you've made the right choice, you know it makes sense. And the final one this week comes in from Daniel Jones. Another chain-related question. What do you do with your old chains once they're off of your bike? Art, things around the garden, that sort of thing. There's not much you can do with old chains. You could use it as a storage solution, I guess, of some sort. Maybe hold a ladder up in your garage. I don't know. The world is your oyster when it comes to old chains. Right, remember, if you've got a tech-related problem, leave it for me down there in the comments section below, and I will do my very best to help answer it in an upcoming episode. Get involved in the comments section too, and try and help out people with other problems. Also, remember to check out the GCN shop at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Click that little notification icon, and why not like and share this video with your friends. For 2 more absolutely cracking videos, how about clicking just down here and just down here, and I'll see you soon.